It's day 12 of RPG a Day month, and I sit here surveying a landscape soaked in Arthurian, steeped, in fact, in Arthurian legend. And I wonder, will someone rise from the lake to assist me in this quest? Hello, I'm Colin Green, and you are listening to Spike Pit.
Hey, Colin, it's Arlen. Your episode on collaborative wilderness creation for the Perilous Wilds made me think of two different games, so I was going to tell you about those. The first off is Beyond the Wall, which I don't know if I've talked to you about it before. It's an OSR-ish game, but one of the really cool things that they do is they have kind of Powered by the Apocalypse or Dungeon World style playbooks, and the playbooks are how you create your character. It's got a bunch of kind of interlocking random tables that also have a stage where the player characters collaboratively build the village that they're from. The assumption is that all the player characters are from one kind of small village in a larger fantasy world. And at every step along the character creation process, they add either a notable location or an NPC or something like that to fill out the village, create a bunch of kind of NPC plot hooks and all that sort of stuff. And I think that works really well, partly because when we played, I played it with my family. And one of the big things was they got, really attached to the NPCs that they had created. And for instance, when my sister, who was playing the witch, rolled that, or the witch's apprentice, she created the witch as one of her NPCs and then rolled on a random table that the witch had died, and she was, distraught. She felt like, she had lost her mentor essentially in character creation, and that was a real, scar for her character. So, it was really good. It's a really good system. And then they've even got a Beyond the Wall. The first one is sort of designed for kind of small one shots in a small area, but they've got an expansion that is designed for collaborative world building on a larger scale, where the player characters come up with basically rumors that they have heard, and then the dungeon master has a set of tables to determine kind of how true the rumor is and what it actually means and all of that sort of stuff. So it's a really good, I think it's Flatland Games maybe that publishes them. I think you can get most of the books in PDF for pay what you want or very cheap. So worth checking out. Really great content, and almost as good as the Spike Pit podcast in terms of content worth consuming and all that sort of stuff. The other game I was going to mention is another kind of interesting game with some cool collaborative world building mechanics, and that is Legacy Life Beyond. Legacy Life Among the Ruins has a sort of sub-game within that system, a sub-game that sort of uses the main game system called Free From the Yoke. And Free From the Yoke is this really interesting fantasy RPG where you play both kind of like an organization or, like a town or a merchant's guild or something like that within this fantasy world, as well as a kind of individual character. But your organization stays the same, but your individual character becomes a part of sort of the GM tapestry over time. So it's a really cool system. But one of the cool things about it is that as you play, there's a lot of collaborative world building stuff that is inherent to the playbook. So like if you choose to play as the sort of merchants guild, you're responsible for drawing trade routes on the world map and stuff like that. So it has this really cool collaborative world building element that allows for the players to be involved both with the kind of starting position of everything and for the way that the world changes over time, because that's one of the big sort of themes of the game. Excuse me. themes of the game is change over time, and the way that it's about kind of working together to try to build a kingdom in the aftermath of a revolution against an empire, that sort of thing. So it's a really cool system, really great. It uses a Powered by the Apocalypse resolution mechanic, but Free from the Yoke is really cool. Also, I don't think it's pay what you want on drive-through, but it's like $10 for the PDF or something like that. And I think that the hardcover version is on Amazon, so it's a nice, well-bound offset printing instead of a print-on-demand book. So anyway, 2 games that you should check out, and I will talk to you soon.
With a prompt like think, I can do no better than a series of call-ins from my old buddy Arlen Walker, live from Pelham's Wasteland. And how apt it is that such a big fan of Arthurian legend would call in when I am but a stone's throw from the lake purported to be the very lake that the Lady of the Lake dwelt in. Pretty magical place. Haven't got there yet, but on my way out I'm going to be swinging by, soak up a little bit of that atmosphere, see what inspiration comes to me. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a sword or 2 kicking around Frostbite Pit. I've actually got Life Among the Ruins and Beyond the Wall. Both of them, I've barely looked at Life Among the Ruins, and I need to spend a bit of time with that. But Beyond the Wall, I always seem to forget about and overlook, and I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. It sort of came out, and for a while I heard people talking about it, and to me, maybe the new shiny has come along, and it's receded into the background a little bit, which is a pity because I think it's really good. It's actually got that kind of low level, low power vibe that I quite like, and it's got that mystic. You could easily do that mystical sort of fairy tale. It's almost got that kids on bikes, but old style kids on bikes, if that makes any sense. A kind of Disney Sword in the Stone vibe, perhaps. You could probably do like what I thought might be quite fun would be like a young Robin Hood almost. You could do fantasy Tom Sawyer type of thing with a game. There's quite a lot of good stuff in that game that would suit my players in particular, I think, being a younger group. And the way the guy who put that game out, and I forget his name, did a really nice job with the adventures. Arlen mentions the playbooks, but he did a sort of a similar thing with the adventures and scenarios that he put out. They are like little booklets, really digestible, the type of thing that I have no trouble running. They're kind of, bullet points and just nicely done. Perhaps what I should do is talk a bit more about my thoughts on that, and once RPG a Day month is over, or maybe there's some scope to work it into one of the prompts. I'll give that some thought. And that, as they say, is a wrap. Big thanks goes out to you, the listener, for taking a bit of time out of your day to listen to Old Spike Pit. Take care, and I'll catch you later.